Sexplosion is on Power 102, and now on new days and at new times. The country's most informative sex education program, Sexplosion, is on every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m.
And we see no family.
From 9 p.m. to midnight with Dr. Raj.
Is that a good thing?
The guru of sex in the Caribbean.
A lot of times we think that sex is totally below the waist. It is not below the waist. It starts in the brain. Your largest sex organ that you possess is your brain.
Tune in for discussion on all sexual matters. Sexplosion on Power 102, empowering you.
Serious.
Yeah.
I get some weird phone calls too. Out of time and out of place. You do that all part of it.
It's supposed to be 10 past, but we can't make it for 10 past, so we 4 past.
So you are running now?
Coming in. Well, thank you for staying here with us on Power 2.1 FM. Special thanks as always to Mac Daddy the Mac, kicking off our afternoon into evening programming here on Power 2 FM. And a very special thanks as always to Richard Norrie, and well, I haven't seen Skippy for the last couple of days, but I know he'll be around. Well, taking your time 7 minutes after 7 o'clock, and we do welcome you to Sexplosion, the only sex education program here on Power 2.1 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located in St. Augustine. And a very special good evening to you, my big brother. How are you today?
Pleasant good evening to you. Pleasant good evening to the listeners out there, to the viewers, for those of you on social media. Pleasant good evening. This is Sexplosion with Dr. Raj and Junior. I am fine.
For the last couple of days, as a matter of fact.
Well, a little sabbatical is good, a little vacation.
He wasn't here for 2 days.
Yeah, well, of course it was Easter weekend, and Easter weekend is a time for me to spend with my dear family members camping.
Yeah.
But I see you celebrated a big 34 years.
Yeah,
34 years, 34th, excuse me, anniversary.
34, imagine that.
That's not hard to imagine. I passed it last year.
Yeah, but yes, you did.
Right, I'm heading for my 35th, so.
35th. Great milestone.
How was it?
Great milestone and very quiet.
Quiet?
Very
Nothing special, no bunch of roses or
No.
nothing like that,
The
okay.
supermarket was closed.
That's why you just buy roses at the supermarket?
No. We don't believe in that.
I know that. I just wanted to let the people out there hear about that.
Yeah.
You don't have to celebrate it like that. You can celebrate it other ways.
Like both of us in it for so long.
For 34 years.
Yeah, and you were 35.
What makes longevity? What do you think is the essence or the formula for a long-lasting relationship?
I think, well, apart from companionship, I think once you and your spouse are thinking on the same level, and the number one thing is that you don't go to bed at night vexed, as they would say, with your spouse, you know?
What my take on that is that, when you decide to get into a relationship, and you decide to be serious about the relationship, we all start off in a relationship maybe not being serious. But if you decide to get into a serious relationship with someone, there's something called commitment. You commit to it.
Well, yes. Yeah.
And once you start to commit to your relationship, and you would want to, hey, good evening, man, Emmanuel. Yes, so you would want to spend time in building the foundation. Everything builds with a foundation. Nothing stands up, or nothing lasts long without a foundation. You must have a very serious foundation. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So the foundation starts with you and your partner. Then you start building on that foundation by, compromising. Compromising is something that is very important because you need to compromise a lot. You need to communicate your feelings. You need to be able to express certain things. You need to be able to have that level-headedness when you're dealing with one another. So those are the little things that is part of the formula. Of course, the love must be there. And yes, Suresh, love and family time, but we're not getting into the family time yet. I'm just talking about you and that person building something there. So once you have that mutual understanding that we are going to do something together, we are going to build a relationship together, and you didn't get into it for the short term, which I honestly don't believe any two-person gets into a marriage or living together for the short term,
I don't think so.
I don't believe that, So something has to go sour along the way. Mm-hmm. Something has to change along the way for that person to no longer love you, or no longer care for you, or no longer wanting to be with you. And you have to examine yourself and say, well, what's causing this? What has caused this? Why am I not feeling the same way with you anymore? Why am I in a situation where I am contemplating, the thought has come into my head of separation? Why? And if you start to analyze that, why am I feeling this way about you, you'll come to the root cause of why. Mm-hmm. I believe that strongly.
Yes.
I believe that, and this is from a professional point of view and from a humanitarian point of view. You are looking at a situation where, okay, there must be a reason for me to be feeling this way. And if I examine carefully the things that are happening, and in a disparaging way, of course, and I'm honest with myself, I'll find the answer why I start feeling that way about you. Is it because your mode of dress has changed? Is it because the way you speak to me? What has caused this to happen? And if you pinpoint, well, what is the reason that is causing yourself to pull away from the person, mm-hmm. You have to fix that. Because like I said, nobody gets into that relationship for that short haul. You get into it for the long haul. You want to see this thing through. You want to make sure you make this relationship work to the best of your ability. We all have challenges, some persons believe that if I am rich, I wouldn't have any problems.
Yes.
That's not true,
Yes, some people think
If I win the lottery, I wouldn't have any problems. Yes. It's a rude awakening. If you watch the statistics of persons who have won the lottery and remain rich, you'll be shocked at the percentage of persons who have won the lottery and end up poor.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Because just recently, as a matter of fact, last week, I was on YouTube and they were showing you the downfall of people who have won the lotto. And,
But do you know why?
99% of it.
Well, that's what I tell you. You'll be shocked to know the percentage. It's 99%.
Yeah, and
And right here in Trinidad, we have had maybe, let's say, 1,000 lotto winners.
Yeah.
And of that 1,000 lotto winner, only 1% of that 1,000 has been successful.
Yes, I was really surprised though.
No, but Junior, it's like this. If you have a car, you compare it to a Mercedes-Benz, because the Mercedes-Benz is considered to be the car of cars.
Uh-huh.
Right? I know people will call all other names, but there's nothing as durable as a Mercedes-Benz. Correct? So you'll compare it to that. But I tell persons, if somebody gives you a Mercedes-Benz free, do not take it. Because if you were not accustomed to having a Mercedes Benz and were not accustomed to maintaining that, the first time you go to the service place, wherever, to have that car service, you will walk out there with your head in your hand. You know? The cost that it will cost you. To upkeep. So it's not just winning the money. It is what you do with it after. People say, I'll invest. You know, the worst thing I hear with people, well, I'll give some to charity. Yeah. You think God give you that to give it away? Mm-hmm. Think about it. Yeah. Think about it. Mm-hmm. Was that money given to you for you to give it away? No. The answer to that is no. And that's where a lot of people fail. They feel that when they say that, God is going to shine on them and say, yes, this is the right person to give the money to. Waiting God to know your heart?
Yeah. But you know, I like I always say, most of the people who play lotto and with the intentions of winning, I would say 99.9% of them say, you know, Lord, if I win this, I will give charity.
I will give charity. But it comes back to the relationship. When things go sour in the relationship, do you stop and think as to what are the reasons for me to be in this position? And if I find the reason in my contemplation, am I going to go back to that? And I don't mean to change time. You're not going back in time. No. But am I going to go back to that reasoning and say, here, what can I do to fix this? Is it my behavior? Is it the way I approach the relationship? Am I taking things for granted in the relationship? So when you talk about longevity, and I don't honestly think we are married long enough. I honestly don't think that. You know, some person will say, boy, once you cross 25, you make it. I don't believe that, you know. Yeah, the challenge is always there to make it work longer and longer and longer. So you may cross 25, you may cross 30, you may reach 35 like myself, and you will cross 30. But is that the end of it? No, it's not. So what does it boils down to? In accounting, when I was studying accounting, and there's something called cost accounting. In cost accounting, you account for things, the cost of things. Uh-huh. But when you're manufacturing something, and you're manufacturing a relationship, when you're manufacturing something, you add the cost as it comes down the line. So you start with the product that will make the final product, uh-huh. The raw material, and you start adding time and money and things onto it. That is called work in progress, WIP. And when we come back from the break, we'll talk about the WIP and how it applies to the relationship.
Beautiful. Well, folks, taking your time, it's now 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. You are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
I'm left inviting you to join me every Tuesday and Thursday, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. for the program Slow Gospel Music, a program designed to soothe your mind and uplift your spirit here on Power 102.1 FM.
Before you act, think twice. Think twice. Think clean. Go green. For environmental awareness. Power 102 FM and Blue 94 FM continue to champion responsible action for life, safety, and now a cleaner environment. Our planet is what we make of it, so let's make the right choices. The choice to reduce, to reuse, to recycle, to conserve, to preserve, to responsibly dispose. Being more mindful of what we around us. For this generation and those still to come. Join us for daily tips on how you can get involved at home, at work, and in your communities. Encourage your neighbors, colleagues, and family as well. Help change the culture and behaviors.
for a greener, more environmentally conscious TNT.
Think twice.
Think twice.
For environmental awareness.
Brought to you by Swimco, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited.
Power 102 FM and Boom 94 in association with the Garrett Group of Companies.
Bush Mountain TT, Salo Enterprises, and the Vice Club Supermarket. Think twice.
Think twice.
For a cleaner, greener Trinidad and Tobago.
Tired of boring ice cream? Then it's time to step up to the real king of homemade. Introducing the bold and new look of Munchkin's homemade chocolate ice cream. Decadent, rich cocoa, lavishly indulged in every bite. Now that's what you call ice cream. Munchkin's chocolate ice cream. Gotta have it today.
You're listening to Sexplosion on Power 102.1 FM with the only sexologist on the Caribbean, Dr. Raj, Randanan of Total Energy and the Adult Therapy Center. Now, here's where we give you the opportunity to interact with Dr. Raj. For those of you who might have something that is sexual on your mind and you need to get clearance of, well, I can tell you, this is the forum for it. All you've got to do is give him a call at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, you can also do that on his private mobile, 740-1961. May I remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are there for advice. Yeah.
So we're talking about this thing called work in progress. What is work in progress? Exactly what it says. You're working as you progress. As you progress in your relationship, you are working on it. And how do you work on it? We talk about communication. We talk about compromise. We talk about the ability for you to be able to bend and make that relationship work to your benefit. And also for you to let the person know how you feel about certain things. That also is important. How do you feel and what it is you need, and also what it is you're giving, because it's a give and take. It's not just one person in the relationship. It's two persons in a relationship.
Okay, what we are going to do is go to the lines. Let's see. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
For Raj and family, Raj, the first one is that people get married and somehow in that relationship, at least one of the partner ends up breaking their marital vow. What could you say accounts for that? And the second and most important question is this: why do men especially end up killing the person that they profess that they love? Why do they end up doing that?
Okay, the first part of the question, the marital vows. We make promises for many things, We take vows for many things, But it's how serious you take the vows, what the vows means to you. There's some persons who say vows simply for saying it because it's vows. And I'm supposed to say that to get married to you. Now, and I know when persons say marital vows, they talk about the marital vows in Christian wedding. But have anyone ever asked what are the vows in a Hindu wedding or a Muslim wedding? What are the vows? What do you say? We don't have vows. We don't have vows. No, we don't. Hindus don't have vows. There are 7 things that you ask of your husband and 5 things that the husband asks of the wife. And that's it. And you are asked to maintain those things throughout your relationship.
Well, would it be fair to say, well, I mean, religion comes in, religion is very important.
Yes, but isn't the religion made a pappy show with all these persons who get married and they take the vows and it's supposed to be that the only time we will separate is at death. But look at how many persons get divorced or separated. So how serious is this thing called marital vows? What was the second part of that question here? Something? Yeah. Good, yes. So how serious do you take it? But vows should not be taken as a joke, first of all. Yeah. But the seriousness of the individuals and what they think about the relationship is what they have to take into consideration throughout. That is what they have to do, what they take into consideration throughout the relationship. That's why I tell you, it's a work in progress every single day. Not because you have made 35 years, guarantee you another 35 years, you know. That's the problem. You tell yourself, I've made 10 years in my marriage, so another 10 years is easy. No, another 10 years is difficult because you have to work hard at it.
Okay, what we are going to do is go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Raj, the second question I have is simply this, and it happened often. Why did that man end up killing the person that is the person that they love? Why did they do it?
Because of ownership. We have this idea that we own a person. We own things. So you have a wife, you have a girlfriend, a common law person, you feel you own that person. You see this thing about ownership, that is where the problem comes in, you know. So you tell yourself, if I can't have you, nobody else could have you. Nobody could love you the way I love you. But the way I love you is to kill you. How do you equate killing you with love? But that's when a man becomes warped. That's when a man has changed from love to a force that he himself can't understand. He cannot understand. Sometimes they blame it on alcohol. Okay, let's say it's alcohol. Another person might blame it on jealousy. Okay, it's jealousy. But you're using these things, anger, jealousy, and whatnot, to say, well, okay, this is the woman I love, but I'll kill you. Where's the rationale in that? I will kill you because I love you. There's no rationale. So some person will say, well, when a man vexed, he could do anything. True, when a man vexed, he does do stupid things. But you think walking up to the person that you love or you cherish and you have a blade in your hand or whatever, and you could chop that person? You have to have a criminal mind to do that. And that's the bottom line, you know. The bottom line, you know, coming up on the to the program, I was listening to Richard Norrie and what he was saying about, you know, the law and whatnot, and persons saying, well, there's no humane way to kill a person. But if you chop somebody to death, you should be chopped to death. I strongly believe that, you know. Whatever means you use to kill another person, you should face the same thing, go through the same suffering as that person. But again, you say, well, we live in a civilized society and we have laws. And yes, we live in a civilized society and we have laws and things to govern that. But think about the suffering that the family goes through or the person goes through. Many a times you see persons die by accident, drowning, whatever. And you know what I think about? If that person have a wife and children, what happens then? And this is by accident. Far less for someone whose life has been taken away by murder. You break into the person's home, you murder them. The person is driving their car, you want to take the car, you murder them. What happens to the children of that person? What happens? What are the psychological effects when it comes to that? What are the psychological effects of the wife? This man is the breadwinner of the home, right? And you have taken the life from this person. How is she going to survive? Now, the person will say, well, she could get next man. Then the first thing will jump up and say, but is that what she want to do? Did anybody stop to ask her, you want her next man? No. But we want to judge in our society and say, well, she could get next man, the next man will take care of she. It is not that easy. It is not that easy. Her choice may not be that. Her choice may be, I have to take care of my children. I have to put them through school. I have to make sure they're okay. I don't want a stepfather in the house. I don't want somebody interfering with my daughter. I don't want somebody beating my son. That is her priority now. So if we stop as a society and start thinking about these things, don't you think we'll change our habits and our ways? Because then we'll start thinking in a more humanitarian way. When I started off the program at the beginning, I said that word, you know, humanitarian way towards your children, towards your relationship. there's no guarantee that a person is not going to change. But if you start thinking along those lines and thinking about the relationship I have here, I've made 25 years. So what do I have to look forward to? You know, there's some persons that say they're fed up after 25 years. Say, but boy, same woman.
They say the same thing
over and over. I had somebody ask me a question, pull up by me and say, Raj, I want to ask you a question. This is a good friend of mine. He says, as a man get older, he just change his shirt, he just change his pants. You know, any piece of jewelry, you don't see a man with that jewelry all the time. He go change his jewelry. He'll change his car. Why can't we change a woman after a certain amount of years? He said, because sometimes you need to change. I said, well, why would you say that? Now, this is a good friend of mine. He said, you know, the only thing that's make you stay with that woman is if two all you have the same head, like what you said before. I said, well, explain yourself. What you mean by that? He said, well, if two all you're thinking along the same line, you're contented with what you have. You see, contentment is a hell of a word, you know.
Yeah, it is. It is.
People think contentment is having enough money in the bank and driving a nice car and having a big house. They feel like it's contentment. That's not contentment, you know. If you're not contented with the person that you're with, you're not going to go into it for the long haul. You are not going to be committed for the long haul because you're not contented.
But I have seen couples that are married for a number of years and they're not really in a great financial position, but they're happy.
Well, this is the point I was trying to make when I told you that some persons believe that if you're rich financially, everything will be okay. But if you look throughout the world, because we all like to, you know, we have this fascination with the rich and famous and whatnot. There's some sort of fascination we have. So you'll hear people discussing, hey, you hear about this man, he just buy a mansion, $35 million. I'm thinking, I don't even want to know what I'm thinking. You know. That is of no interest to me. You know. It is of no interest to me how much a person is worth, what they buy, what they sell, nothing like that. And some people may find, well, what's wrong with he? You'll hear about some famous actor or actress or a family of actresses and everybody following them and they want to know if, I tell you, they want to know what color panty they're wearing and all. To me, I don't care. That does not do anything for me. They will live their lives based on their values. I live my life based on my values. My values is wife, children, mother, father, immediate family, brother, sister, come first. But why first? You know, even in our religion, it is you're taught that your mother and father is your God. Fine, yeah, that is true. Your godfather also. Well, we don't have a godfather. Our guru is our God. But at the same time, the person that you spend all your life with, which is your spouse, also holds a very important part in your life. And you have to take care of that. You can't have a mansion, a fancy house, a nice house, and let moss grow on the wall and you know, bird droppings in the guttering, and all of a sudden a tree spring up and you leave it. Don't you have to take care of the house?
You got to maintain.
You have a vehicle. You say, well, okay, I'll run it down until you oil to a solid piece of thing in the engine block. You feel the car going to last? You have to maintain it.
Anyway, folks, taking your time, it's now 28 minutes before 8 o'clock. You are listening to Sexplosion here on Power 2.1 FM with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj, running our Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine. Well, I definitely have to tell you, it's the league that we never knew that we needed. The Sunshine Snacks Ballpark Community League, every Monday from 6 p.m. at the ML Ballpark Stadium, that's out of Macoya. You can come out and see teams like Beatniks FC, Pacemakers, MIC Tigers, Unveil FC, Love in the House, Vampires FC, Matarita FC, and SME. They're all battling for greatness at the ML Ballpark Stadium, that's at Macoya. Spectators are free. The Sunshine Snacks Ballpark Community League is on every Monday night at the ML Ballpark at Macoya. See you then.
Are the problems and destructive anxieties of today tearing you apart? If there was ever a time to readjust your priorities and refocus your vision, it's now. Join Pastor Wayne Sampson on the Vision of Hope devotional program every Monday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. right here on Power 102 FM. Jesus is the only one who can give you peace in the midst of today's storm.
And we welcome you back to Sexplosion here on Power 102 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine. Now, folks, don't forget our lines are open. If you would love to interact with him via the telephone, feel free. 2228255, also at 6128255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, you can also do that on his private mobile 740-1961. You can also send in your messages on our messenger board at Power 102 FM.
Lisa says contentment with self. Junior, it might be a bit difficult for your memory to go back this far after 34 years of marriage. But do you recall when you were courting, when you were looking for a girlfriend, when you started a relationship, you pick out somebody and say, okay, this person is the person I want to spend time with. However it happened, it doesn't matter. And after that, you do nothing else and say, I'm going to marry she, and they're done there.
Well, in a way.
No, not the relationship done, you know. You say, well, this is the person I'm going to get married to. I don't need to do anything else. Hey, girl, I'm going to get married to you. And you do nothing else after that. You think that's going to work?
No, it wouldn't. No.
What do you have to do after that?
I think what happens is that you definitely have to spend, before making that commitment, you have to spend some quality time.
Okay, you spend the quality time. Okay, you spend the quality time, and you have decided that this is the person to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah.
And you just leave it at that after that? You don't. You have to invest in that. Now is where the investment comes in. Before, it was not an investment. So we're looking at it from an accounting point of view. At first, is that you put out a little to get to know the situation. After you've known the situation, whatever you put out financially and otherwise, there is a monetary value to that.
And another important thing, as you mentioned that, is that you put yourself in a position where you tell yourself, look, I wonder if in 15 years' time after I make that commitment, if I will still love this person.
Well, I remember in my teenage years, my girlfriend at the time came home and for my birthday, and my father pulled me aside and he said, you like this girl? I say, think about her, how she would look 50 years from now. You think you'll still like her? And I actually stopped and thought of it. Because if you're thinking about, if you see a woman today, what you have to do is look at her mother to have an idea how she would look 20, 30, 40 years down the line, depending on the mother's age. Correct?
Right, yeah.
Right. So immediately, and this is a very serious thing, right? I remember exactly where it happened, when it happened, how it happened. And my father was very serious also. And I placed myself in that shoe, and I looked at this girlfriend of mine and tried to envision in my mind how she would look 50 years down the line.
You did?
Yes. Because it was the right thing to do, because my father asked me a very salient question. Right? He asked me something there that made me think. All the time I have a girlfriend, right? And the girlfriend is at the moment, that is your girlfriend, because you see the beauty, the physical beauty and the other things about the person, and you're wrapped up in that. But here I am, my father braced me with a question that had me thinking differently, because I never thought of that. Because I was too wrapped up in being in love. So I stop and I rock back and I think, and I remember exactly where I was sitting and exactly how I felt. And I say, yes, I told him yes. I said, okay, you're good to go.
You're good to go.
And he gone on with whatever he was doing.
That's a good point.
It's a very good point. So in your relationship now, 34 years down the line, well, that's the person I got married to, yeah? So it wasn't anybody else. But 34 years down the line now, you're thinking about another 34 years. What are the changes that are going to take place from now, given your age? And let's say God grant you that amount of age. 34 years from now, how would you feel? And you have to envision that. Yes, you have to tell yourself, I will have to take care of this person if something should happen. She will have to take care of me if something should happen. Would she be willing to do it? Does she have that kind of personality? Do I have the wherewithal to do that? Would I do that? And you have to question these things. You have to question whether you're going to do it. And if you answer, no, I'm not going to do it, what do? You don't get involved. No, you change. If you are serious about being in the relationship, you change. Because you have to tell yourself, no, mister, don't think that way. This is the person that you're married to up to this point in time. There's another 20, 25 years or 30 years ahead of you. You better fix yourself. And you're telling yourself, listen, you better fix yourself to go the distance with this person. That is inevitable. So you're going to die. She's going to die. I saw one of my uncle, my mamu, die from a broken heart, literally, And I could attest to that because I spent time with a little time with him, but I saw the pain and suffering he went through. And it's something that I could explain to anybody. And when they said he grieved to death, he died from a broken heart because he was so attached to his wife. After she died, he had no will to live. None. No matter what we did for him, he had no will to live. And I saw that. So it wasn't a surprise to me when I heard he died. Of course, I felt sad. He's my mamu, mother, eldest brother. But at the same time, I understood why he died. Yes. So I was more accepting of the fact, other person might say, well, and when we got together, we were discussing the very same thing, and everybody came to the same conclusion. Everybody sounded like, everybody was on the same, they were singing the same song. Because we knew. But that, no, they say sometimes you must detach yourself. But in a relationship like that, do you detach yourself from your husband or detach yourself from your wife? You have to go to the long haul, mister. Yes, you do have to. You have to go down the road. You have to tell yourself, I am going to go the distance. And when I go the distance, no matter what happens to this person, I am going to be there. So when that time comes, eventually person will expire. They would die, hopefully in your arms or whatever you're thinking about. And then you have other things to do as far as ritual, burial, cremation, whatever you choose to do. And you have to go on with your life, whether you choose to go on with your life in a sad way, a happy way or whatever. But you have to go on with your life for a period of time also. But you may be grieving. So all of those things you have to take into consideration. And when you take it into consideration, you will know how you feel about that person. So that's why I tell you, anything that I no longer want to be with this person, you have to be really thinking this way and change it. Because you have the power to change it, and nobody have the power to. Nobody can come and tell you, boy, that your wife, boy, you must love she, No, you have to do it on your own. You have to do that on your own. Because you know that's your wife, and you know you have to love her. And she knows she's your husband, and she knows she's supposed to love you and take care of you and whatnot. And I want people to say, well, I ain't enough now the man taking care of the woman, the man taking care of the woman also. Nobody has to tell you that. But if there's it's a flame that is burning. And something, the flame dies down a bit. You ever look at a candle or a deer or something, you ever look at it when it's burning? It doesn't burn the same intensity all the time. But once the oxygen is flowing to that, the air, because the oxygen is what causes it to burn. Once that oxygen is feeling that flame, what happens? Sometimes flare up. Sometimes come down again. And sometimes you see a nice glow. Sometimes you see a little blue flame or a yellow flame, you see a different color. That is what life is about.
Anyway, folks, taking the time, 16 minutes before 8 o'clock. You are on the inside of Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM. And I can definitely tell you that nobody does better what we do best when it comes to sex education. On your number one, all-round station when it comes to talk and music. Sexplosion 2 FM. Well, just to remind you, at home, at work, and in your community, you've got to think twice, think clean, and go green. It's more like a snack, drink, stationery item, bread loaf, or anything else you may have to run to the store for. Hold it in your hand as you get to your next destination. You don't really need a bag. If your purchase is too much for your pocket, then bring a reusable shopping bag. Buy in larger packages and put the amount you need for to work or snacks in reusable containers. Buying in is usually cheaper than buying individually wrapped serving and requires less packaging. So you will reduce, think twice for a cleaner, greener, and powered by Swimcall, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited, Power 102 and Boom 94. In association with Sam Enterprise, Price Club Market, Bush Mountain TT, and the Gillett Group of Companies.
Are you fed up of car problems? Well, your solution is Chanflair Auto Services. They repair all vehicles, even roll and roll. Chanflair Auto Services is your one.
I'm looking at the clock.
Alignment, suspension, electrical, and driving. That your services and even drop off your vehicle. Don't waste precious time going elsewhere. Chanflair Auto Services handle it
Good.
Give them a call at 662-6545. Champlain Auto Services, opposite Caribbean Eastern Main Road. Your total car care stop.
And we welcome you back to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine, where he do treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and female. Folks, don't forget all lines are open for those of you who would like to interact with them. Who knows, maybe you have something on your mind that might be bothering you and it deals with a sex problem. Feel free, all lines open at 22825. Don't like hearing yourselves on radio. Who knows, maybe your neighbor might be listening. And WhatsApp or text message. Comes to talk and music. Yep.
Husband just made dinner, watching and listening to you. Thank you very much. So I really looking at what you're willing to sacrifice, how much you're willing to sacrifice yourself, because you have to give up a lot. Sometimes a woman will ask a simple thing, boy, you lie me every week. Try not to lie this week then. And the man might react in a violent way. The question that was posed before, why do men find themselves committing a criminal act to the person that they love, taking the life of the individual, or hurting the individual in such a way that the person is physically and mentally scarred? Why? All in the name of love? It's not in the name of love, you know. It's in the name of jealousy, anger.
But you know what is about that? I've heard with your relationship with your wife from time to time. If the Supreme Court
have to.
It's a.
You must make that time spend quality, not quantity. Some person spend quality time with their wife. They spend time. It's not like us. Nothing like that. It is just that we the same space. Where's the love? No quality time whatsoever.
No conversation at all.
Those are the things that you have to put aside. Quality time means quality time. So you develop that over a period of time. You sit to eat together. There's no distraction. Where you do it? Spend a little time in the kitchen while they're cooking. I think that is fun. Give them. Yes, if you could assist. Yeah. And I had to do something. And volunteer. I'm like, but I want to. I'll get it. And I saw the when I was like, but the conversation was going to the person in the fix up. These are the bird. She said, no, just leave that alone. I need your help. Like, you can remember, I will. What do you do? Yeah. You're going to say, well, okay, I go on somewhere else here. Yeah, since you don't need any help, I go on and do my own thing. A simple thing as that. IPL is going on, excitement. Sometimes my wife will watch 2 overs. I watch cricket. Will take on unless it's live. If it's live, she won't watch it. But if she watch 2-3 overs, somebody who she like bowling or batting or whatever, she will come spend 2-3. Or she have a habit of listening to it. So she will listen and say, "Who out there?" Yeah. So she listening to it while she's doing her chores or whatever. So that you're still sharing something.
But you know what is important too, and as you mentioned, cricket. Sometimes a game might be going on live that you like that particular sport, and it's nice to leave the TV and go and spend time with your spouse and let us see that, hey, look, I know you love cricket, but you're leaving cricket sometimes.
She will hold on to it. But it's not only that, it's all the other visionary. Open a business. And when you open a business, don't expect profits. Don't expect profits. Because everything that you make in the business is plow back into the business for it to grow and develop.
Baby steps you're taking.
So you're plowing back into the business, adding. So after 3 years, then you'll have profits that you could take on. So it's like a baby, you're growing the baby, and the baby grows to a certain point, and okay, the baby dog could take care of itself. That's what the business is about. Same thing with the relationship. You add. You remember what I was telling you, when you reach that point that you have decided that this person is going to be with me, or you want to be with this person for the rest of your life, you don't just rock back and say, well, she gonna be my wife. That is it.
Don't take it for granted.
You have to work. You have to work at the relationship now. You have to romance her. You have to take her out. You have to, cook for her. Sometimes you have to go online with her. You have to do these things with her. That is investment in the relationship. But you know what happens to us? There's a C word that I don't like. in a relationship, you know, complacency. When you get to that point when you tell yourself that your wife can't do without you, I have all the money, she could catch me till she leave me. And there are many men who think like that. There are many men out there who have a wife, but they hold on to them through finances. The wife will love them because that's done. Because you have changed. But you tell yourself, she ain't gonna leave me, you know, because she can't live without my money. But then there comes a time when all the money in the world means nothing to her unless she's getting that love from you. Just as no matter what, you're living in poverty or whatever, the woman sticks with you because there's love and appreciation for one another. But anytime you become complacent in your relationship, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. One of the things we do in sex therapy or, you know, therapy and whatnot is when you spend time with the patient or the client and you ask them, what are the missteps that you recall to get you to this point of wanting to separate from your partner? What are the missteps you made? And sometimes the person will be blurting out what the missteps of the other person. But that's not the point. What are the missteps you made? Now, sometimes a person may make a misstep, something wrong, but your reaction to that misstep makes it worse. Because you didn't heal that misstep. You didn't cut it off. You didn't stop it. You let it fester. And it becomes, when a sore starts to fester, what happens? Amputation comes. You have to tend to it and make sure you get rid of that. And many a times you have to listen to your partner. Many a times you have to listen to your partner to find out what are your missteps. I'm not saying women are perfect and men are perfect. You know, we're not perfect. Absolutely not. No man is perfect. No woman is perfect. None. No one.
They don't have their faults.
Right. So you would have done something wrong. And the first thing you say, well, she did something wrong first. But does that give you the right to do something wrong second? Don't you think that if she did something wrong first, that wrong should be corrected by both of you?
Well, yeah.
Instead of I committing a wrong and then she come and commit a third wrong and you commit a fourth and you're going down the line like that?
Yeah, you get a domino effect.
You as you said, domino effect. I must say a pleasant good evening to some folks who were camping with us. I don't have their names, but we had a wonderful time camping in Manzanilla this year. Again, after 35 years, or 35th year of camping. 35 years this year. Yeah. And there's this gentleman from, I think he's from between Rio Claro and Princeton, KC. And he said to heal him out because he follows this program religiously and he gives advice based on this program. So Casey, wherever you are, pleasant good evening to you, and I did not forget you, just as I didn't forget the young man who teach me to play domino.
Oh, so you got involved.
Well, that's why I said the domino effect. This young man came and sat next to me. He must have been about 12, 13 years of age, and he touched me on his shoulder. I said, let's play domino. I said, never played it before. So as he gets sad because he's looking for somebody to play with. And I was having a conversation with one of my cousins, I think. So after I said, excuse me, and I went back to him and said, if you teach me to play, I will like that, you know. He said, well, I do lost, you know. And he starts and he get hyper thing. So I said, I never played that game before. Never in my life. So we played one game, he cut my tail. I played another game, he cut my tail. I said, here, what are the rules and whatnot? So he started to explain. Well, he didn't know much about it, but he knew how to play. So I think his mother was there and she started to explain. I said, all right, well, next one I cut the tail. He said, I've never lost this game before. I said, well, it's numbers. And if his numbers are good at that.
So as soon as you got the hang of it.
Once I got the hang of it and I started to realize his numbers and it was fun. But the young man taught me dominoes. So sorry I don't remember his name, but yes.
Anyway, folks, you're listening to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM. I'll tell you, here's where we take sex education where it has never been before. Exclusively on your mobile, all-around station. You are listening to a station that's reliable, effective, and accurate. Power 102 FM. Your number one all-around station when it comes to talk and music. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Keep calm in order to heal. Power 102, in collaboration with the NCRHA, presents the Calm Project, a 13-week series with children and adolescents living with mental illness. Calm. Every Tuesday at 2 p.m. with our featured speakers, Dr. Asher Pemberton, consultant in pediatrics and adolescent health, and Ms. Renee Pilgrim, cluster manager at the NCRHA. The Calm Project, a part of healthy living with Stanley Augustus, sponsored by Guardian Life of the Caribbean and the Office of the Prime Minister. Only on Power 102, empowering you. The Calm Project. Want to get your products and services out to more customers? How about getting more people into your store? Does your brand need a boost in exposure? Then radio advertising on Power 102 is the solution you've been looking for. With packages tailored to your needs and a team to create the ideal radio ad, the choice is clear. Power 102, empowering you. So call us today at 62-POWER. That's 627-6937. And ask to speak to a client advisor about your ideas and brand. We are Power 102, empowering you and your business today.
Well, I continue that when it comes to sex education, we are always one step ahead with a beautiful blend. Sexplosion with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine. He treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and female. Folks, don't forget the lines are open. He are taking your calls at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, you can also do that on his private mobile 740-1961. You're listening to a program that deals with love, sex, and relationship. Right here on Power 2.1 FM, your number one all-around station. Yeah.
Someone asked a question, why are men inclined to be polygamous and women mostly monogamous? It's the way we think, the way we are wired, and it always comes back to the five senses. We are attracted by sight, women are attracted by emotions. So it's very easy for us to see more than one person who I would like to spend time with them, or would like to have them in a harem, would like to have more than one wife. Whereas women or a woman would fall in love, develop that relationship, and be attracted to that individual based on certain traits that she sees. We don't look for traits. We are guided by sex, we are guided by good looks, we are guided by attraction. That's what we are guided by. Traits, I think, will come afterwards. That's why a lot of guys get married to the wrong woman. And let's face it, I have seen persons get into a relationship. For example, a family member. I saw a family member got into a relationship with this beautiful darling of a girl. You look at she, boy, you want to put she in a glass case. On observing, I like to analyze, observe, analyze. I saw certain traits that I didn't like. I didn't say anything. You don't get involved in that. And lo and behold, a year after, they broke up. And then you started to hear all the things. And I turned to him and I said, I saw all that the very first day you introduced me to her. He said, why you didn't tell me something? I said, for me and you to be enemies? You're mad? You have to find out that for yourself.
Yeah, once you get a relation, that's why, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, you've got to spend time.
You got to find out the traits of the individual
that you're getting involved with.
So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen to women also. Women are fooled, There's some men out there who are good at lying, and creating an image about themselves. If they know that's what you like, they'll create that image about themselves and say, okay, well, right, this is what I presented to you. Now, if you find yourself trapped, And let's say you get married. What do you do from then on? You have to pull all the positive aspects out of it and live with that, and make it work based on those. It's not going all it's going to be negative, but you have to pull as much positive out of that and make it work. Otherwise, you will live a life of misery. All that's going to happen is misery. As a human being, as a professional, and as a man, I ask myself all the time. And not once I've found myself saying, well, I should have do this different, or I regret doing this. Not once. Because when I weigh everything and I put it in perspective and I say, okay, this happened here and this is the result of it. This happened here and this is the result of it. Some of it is not a very good result. I'm not saying everything was rosy, but it's a learning experience also. So it enriches you in another way. It may not be the way you wanted to be enriched, but it happened. Agreed. Women look for men with power or financial security, long-term opportunity. Men look for some short-term relief. Well, not all women look for power. They look for a man who it's innate in us from the dawn of man and woman on this earth. However you choose to say man and woman come on this earth. Two things. Men are hunters and gatherers, and women look to find stability in the man who is hunting and gathering. And that's the bottom line. Because they know they're being hunted. But they want to see strength and stability in the individuals who is doing the hunting. So there's something that you ever look at a couple, or you know some women some couples who are married and whatnot, or living together, whatever they choose to do. I say, oh, she ended up with he, boy. Oh, he's so lucky. But she saw something you will never see. She saw something in him that gave her that sense of stability and strength in him and nobody else. And it takes looks, because you say, boy, he ugly like hell, boy. Oh, you get that.
Sometimes you see some women
and you question it. But you are looking for certain traits that you will compare with. Boy, he has muscles like me. He could lift up a bag of flour, boy. If he had to carry a gas tank home for the woman, how you go carry that for the woman, boy? But she care about if he could carry a gas tank home or not. That is not the reason why she fall in love with him. It's the same thing when a man see a woman. God, watch are the legs on that woman. God, I could tap that tonight. He thinking about the short term, and you're right. He's thinking about the short term. How quickly I could get her in bed for sex. And after the sex, I just always tell women that, when a man break is when to know if he love you or not. Because 99% after a man break, he care about you or nothing else, and he want to sleep. He don't care. He don't want to hug up. He don't want to cuddle. He don't want to come near you. It might be harsh on men, but it's a fact. If you love your woman after your break, after you enjoy the session, don't you think you should be cuddling with her a little bit and,
Yeah, be romantic.
Now some guy will say, well, I'm trying for a second rounds. No. You're doing it not because you're trying for a second rounds. You're doing it because you love and appreciate the woman that you just made love to.
But most of them are into it because they want to be physical.
They're looking for the rewards of it. And that's another wrong thing that we do. We look for the rewards of the relationship as opposed to what the relationship really gives.
Yeah.
We lose sight of it. We have a lot of people looking at us on Facebook, and I have to say pleasant good night to them. I can't call one name because there's, I will say, hundreds of names that are looking at us. For those of you who want to send your WhatsApp message, of course you can do that. Somebody says, she will carry the gas tank. True. There's a saying, show me a beautiful woman and I'll show you a man who's fed up of her. That is so true. The sexiest, most beautiful woman out there, whoever she may be, there's a man out there who fed up a shit, who don't want to be in the same room with her.
But why would this?
Because once you have, okay, if you get into, as a man, when you get into a relationship that is purely physical, after 10, 12, 15, 12, whatever number of times, one time, you don't want to see that person again? You don't want nothing to do with that person?
So
you conquer and you're gone.
You move on to the next.
It's like putting notches on your belt. You know, long time when gunfighters used to put a notch on the gun handle, how much men they kill. It's the same thing, men do that. They might write it in a book. They might put a notch on their bed head. Who knows what they do? After a while, it's just about conquering. So you're fed up. I don't want to see her again. What's she calling me for? When she called it, why answer?
You move on to someone else.
You're looking for the next conquest.
Yeah, the next.
Whereas the woman, not all, but the majority of them, enjoy the lovemaking, but she ain't fed up by you. She likes seeing you. She likes hearing your voice. Now, we use of the five senses, the one that we use the most is the sight. Men. Women don't use the sight the most. I just said that she likes to hear your voice. Sense of hearing. The sense of smell, pheromones. Those are the senses that kick in, you know. A man don't smell pheromones in a woman because half the time a woman, they shave, they put a set of perfume, so you again no pheromones. All you're watching is the physical attributes, you know. We see physical attributes. We don't even get to sniff a woman anymore. Because if you get to sniff, you might sniff chemical in her hair, you might sniff perfume or some other thing. Panty shield blocking the vagina, so you can't get no pheromones coming from there. So we don't sniff anymore. Sense of smell gone. It's gone. And the worst thing is if a woman has chemical in her hair, because the way you smell it, that overrides everything else. It overrides everything else. You know, have you ever gone in a vehicle or anything next to a woman who have that in her hair? That's all you smell, you know. Yeah. Right. So our sense of smell gone. The woman, on the other hand, still use those senses. She uses hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. We use seeing, tasting, and touching. Of course, the seeing part is part of it. But when she sees you, it does something to her inside. When we see the woman, the only thing that it does with us is how fast I could hit that. What's the shortest space of time from I seeing you, you looking good, and I could hit that? And that's how men think.
Anyway, folks, taking time 11 minutes to 8 o'clock. You are listening to Sexplosion on this Thursday evening with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj, of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Before you act, think twice.
Think twice.
Think clean. Go green. For environmental awareness.
Power 102 FM
and Boom 94 FM continue to champion responsible action for life, safety, and now a cleaner environment.
Our planet is what we make of it, so let's make the right choices.
The choice to reduce, to reuse, to recycle,
to conserve, to preserve,
to responsibly dispose, and to be more mindful of how we impact the world around us for this generation and those still to come.
Join us for daily tips on how you can get involved at home, at work, and in your communities.
Encourage your neighbors, colleagues, and family as well. Help change the culture and behaviors for a greener, more environmentally conscious TNT.
Think twice.
Think twice.
For environmental awareness.
Brought to you by Swimco, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited.
Power 102 FM and Boom 94 in association with the Gillard Group of Companies.
Bush Mountain TT, Salo Enterprises, and the Price Club Supermarket. Think twice.
Think twice.
For a cleaner, greener Trinidad and Tobago.
Want to get your products and services out to more customers? How about getting more people into your store? Does your brand need a boosted exposure? Then radio advertising on Power 102 is the solution you've been looking for. With packages tailored to your needs and a team to create the ideal radio ad, the choice is clear. Power 102, empowering you. So call us today at 62-POWER, that's 627-6937, and ask to speak to a client advisor about your ideas and brand. We are Power 102, empowering you and your business today.
Well, I can tell you that you are making radio an experience by itself when you're listening to Sexplosion of Power 102.1 FM, your number one all-around station when it comes to talk and music, with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Just to remind you once again that our lines are open for those of you who would love to interact with him via the telephone. 222-8255, also at 612-8255. For those of you sending in your WhatsApp or your text messages, you can also do that on his private by 740-1961. May I remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are therefore advised. You're listening to a program that deals with love, sex, and relationships. Yeah.
Why men like to open their eyes and women like to close their eyes and fantasize. A man in she bed is not a man in she head. That's not true. When you close your eyes, the sensation, when you remove one of your senses, to heighten the other senses, and it's not fantasizing. So this person doesn't understand that.
Okay. Yeah.
When you remove one of your senses, the other senses heighten. Now we just say women are not visual. We like looking. So men will open their eyes to watch the woman, watch she breast, watch she, how it jump in, watch she face, all them kind of thing. A woman will close her eyes to get to increase the sensation of touch. Touch meaning the penis and the vagina. To increase the sensation of hearing the sounds that are being made. To increase the senses of tasting if you're kissing. That's why they close their eyes. It's not because they're fantasizing about someone else. Of course, they could do that. That's prerogative. There is no law that says that when you're making love, you have to think about the person who's making love to you, and nobody knows any difference.
Yeah, but some men, I mean, they take it seriously in the sense that if they're making love with someone, your spouse or your partner, and they don't open their eyes, they don't get that full satisfaction.
Correct, because you're heightening the other senses. And you're correct. So if you think that because the wife has closed her eye or the woman has closed eyes because she's thinking about something else, it's not that, then you know what happened? You know what you're doing to yourself? You are lessening your value. Anytime you think like that, is you are lessening your value. You have no self-esteem. Because I know if I put it on work on you and you close your eyes, it's because the sensation is so great. That is what you have to do. Anytime you think less than that, you're less than a man.
Yeah.
So whoever says that, that a wicked. Wrong one.
Right church, wrong.
But there's so much to understand in a relationship. The physical aspect of it, the emotional aspect of it, the financial aspect of it, and which one you place greater emphasis on. Which one of it you want to see nurtured more than the other part of it. And like I said, the man who thinks that he controls his woman with money is in for a rude awakening, because she will find a way to do whatever she wants to do. And no amount of money in the world could buy her loyalty. Money don't buy loyalty, There are other factors that buys loyalty. First of all, the morality of the individual. What they think is right and what they think is wrong. Secondly is the values that they place on the relationship. Coming back to that when we started off, when people talk about the vows.
Yeah.
There are some individuals who vows are just vows for me to get married. Let me do it fast. Whatever the priest said to say, I'll say it. I want to get married to you. After that, what was the vows again? How many people remember their vows?
No, not all.
There are persons who, when time to get married, they go and they change it up and they have special wording and whatnot, and they pull out a sheet and there's about 5 length of paper and they start to read out things to the person.
It's a beautiful poem.
Yeah, poem. And 10 years into the relationship, what was your vows again? Vows?
I
I know we say that we go, Spend time together. How come you getting divorced?
You see, the thing about it is that the excitement, the feeling at that present time, and you don't think down the road. You're only thinking at that particular moment, but you don't think 4 or 5 years down the road.
That's what I'm telling you.
I'm pretty sure that the thoughts that you have when you're going to get married, 5 years after, you don't have those same thoughts.
You can't have those same thoughts. But at the moment of getting married, or when you decide to get married to the person, and if things are going through with the wedding, the day you stand up in church, temple, or mosque, or in front of a justice of the peace, or in court, to get married, you're not thinking divorce. At that moment, you're not thinking divorce, you're not thinking separation. It may have happened before, that, boy, I wonder if things will work out, I wonder, it might happen after, but at that moment, you're not thinking divorce. You are thinking about getting married. You're thinking about, let me forget marriage. You're thinking about shacking up with a woman, or shacking up with a man, common law. So both have already decided, yes, we'll move in together, and we'll live together, and whatever. So, you decide to do that. The day all you're moving in together, you're thinking about when he pack it up and going by. You're not thinking about that.
No, you're not going on that.
That is not an important aspect of it. So if you sit down in a maro or a mandap to get married, that is in the Hindu religion, and you don't listen to what are being said, and as I said, we don't have vows to say I do and whatnot. We don't have that. Right? We have a ritual that you go through. And if you just go through the ritual without the meaning, it means nothing to you.
Anyway, folks, we're going to go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Can that person left us? Don't forget our lines are open if you would like to interact with Dr. Raj, 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. Yeah.
So you must have that strength within you, that power, that conviction that I am doing this, and this means something. This means something for today. It means something for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And that's the commitment that you're making.
Okay, what we are going to do is go to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Could you just pull the volume down on your radio a bit and listen to us on the phone?
Hello?
Hello.
Yes?
Dr. Raj.
Yes?
Yes, I'm from home teachers.
Uh-huh.
My wife normally she does do out here with the coloring and the... Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, I'm listening.
Right, so well, normally, that's my wife, right? I hear you spoken about the coloring and the dyeing on here.
And? I know when you color your hair, it don't smell bad. I'm not talking about that.
No, it doesn't smell bad. But one thing that sometimes I will scratch on my neck. One thing that sorry, coloring.
Through the coloring, you get a scratch on the neck?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what they use on here, boy.
No.
I can't answer that one. I really cannot answer that one. But maybe having an allergic reaction to that. So she have two choices. Either she get rid of that, or things that are dying here. Well, okay, if you're having a reaction to that, I'm sorry to hear that one. I don't know. I really don't know. I know some women, if they put coloring in their hair, they might have a... Well, yes, well, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah.
But I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about the chemicals that they put in their hair.
Oh, the chemicals?
Yeah, to straighten their hair and whatnot. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
That's something different.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay, thanks. Anyway, folks, taking our time, 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, Sexplosion on Power 102 FM. Station that's reliable, accurate, and effective. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Modeling the Issues welcomes you to an exciting new feature on law,
Merci.
system, and human people.
Wife, burning in that case?
This and every Thursday, where your hosts, legal minds Barrington Skippy Thomas and Richard Lowray, present and deconstruct the biggest local and international legal cases that impact our lives today. Burden of Proof, from Roe vs. Wade, Pratt & Morgan, the judge's wife, and Ambard and the Attorney General. Cases that have impacted all our lives today. Burden of Proof, where we also clarify many of the legal terms and concepts used in our judicial system today. Burden of Proof, Thursdays 4 to 7 p.m. with your calls and messages to our website power102fm.com and our mobile app. Burden of Proof with Barrington Skippy Thomas and Richard Lowray on Power 102. Empowering you.
Well, I could tell you that when it comes to sex education, we are always one step ahead. You are listening to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM on this Thursday evening with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Lines are open at 222-8255, 612-8255, and we go to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Good night, good night. Dr. Raj.
Good evening.
Your program.
Thank you.
And, very informative. Two things. One, when do you go to the office down there?
I'm normally there on a Tuesday.
All right. What time?
From 11.
All right. Welcome to you. Next thing, I just you know, when we talking to the boys, they say the reason why a woman close she eye when she having sex is because she hates to be a man have a good time.
Yeah.
I like that.
And in that vein, I have to read this. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
This husband called his wife and says, honey, I got hit by a car outside of the office. Tina brought me to the hospital. They have been doing tests and taking x-rays. The blow to my head, though very strong, will not have any serious or lasting injury. But I have 3 broken ribs, a broken arm, a compound fracture in the left leg, and they might have to amputate the right foot. The wife responds, who's Tina? True, there are some wives like that. There are some wives like that. There are some wives who don't hear everything. They hear a woman name and that's it. But I'll tell you something with a man. For any time a man answers a phone and it's a woman on the other end, we are programmed to change him.
Oh, yeah.
We change our tone of voice. We change everything, you know.
But
a woman will know you're talking to a woman on the other end, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Immediately, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we change. And that's because we are programmed to change. And you know why we are programmed to change? We are programmed to change to attract the others. If it's a woman, we are programmed to change to attract that. But somebody was talking about why. I wanted to read that to bring a point here. Dr. Raj, good night. Women are only about money and power. If you get sick, they don't care about you. I don't know what kind of woman he does meet, you know. That's why it is difficult to find a truthful woman. That's why there are so much of single people and can't get someone to make them feel happy. Because, well, nobody does make you happy. You have to be a happy person.
You have to make yourself happy.
And this is the problem. And you know why I have so many single people out there? Because they're wrapped up in themselves. You go to any function now, and I see it all the time in all walks. I've been in so many different things. You see the young girls on one side, all of them on their phone. You see the fellas on the other side, all of them on their phone. How could you attract another person? How could you start a conversation with another person when that is what everybody is doing? We cannot be anywhere that there's no Wi-Fi. We can't.
But as a matter of fact, even in parties that you go to.
Parties where you stop. You know, long time we used to say boring parties when everybody's sitting down talking.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be on the dance floor.
People don't dance again at parties.
Dance what? They don't know how to dance. They know how to twerk, but they don't know how to dance.
No, those days are.
Those days gone.
Those days are.
You ask a young lady to dance these days, they don't know how to dance. I have seen many things happening with nieces and nephews and whatnot. And the young ladies don't know how to dance.
Well,
and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, but what's going on?
They know how to gyrate, they know how to twerk, they know how to whine, but they don't know how to dance.
But it's not like in our days growing up. When people, the people that are going to parties now, with this generation that we're going through, they're looking to see who you with so they can send a WhatsApp to your friend.
Oh yeah. They are a bunch of macos. That's what we have now.
Yeah,
the young people now are macos. And what's when an accident happens? You ever see anybody rushing to help?
No.
Everybody pulling out their phone and start to film.
Yeah.
They look at the film.
Yeah, that is what we come to now.
Yeah. Everybody's a maco. Everybody wants to stop maco traffic. Everybody wants to, like yesterday I was in Davie. I went Davie at the store in Davie. Guy, Dr. Raj, look up in the sky, It have a ring around the sun. I said, there's no ring around the sun. That is impossible. I said, nothing could go around the sun. I know the phenomena. There's no ring around the sun. The day you see a ring around the sun, you better hold your head and ball. That can't happen. The ring is on Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it's because of the sunlight you're seeing that. So that I didn't bother to look at that. But everybody posted it up like, I hear a man call a radio station and say it's time to pray. With good friend Sammy. Sammy had a program where so everybody sent him a message, go outside and look at the sun. And a man called Sammy and say, well, it's time we have to pray. Pray for what? For natural phenomena? But that's how stupid we are. That's what we have become. I tell you, people have posted up more of that than something serious that is happening.
No, that's a fact.
I tell you, if World War III break out, and some stupidness going on around the road, people start saying, you see that? You see how the dog was wagging the tail? You see the video of the dog wagging the tail? And World War III started now.
Yeah, that is what we have become.
Boy.
Unbelievable.
This song, I tell you, when you cannot have no ring around the sun. I said, what ring around the sun you talking about? He said, but you seen it now. I said, seen what?
I had to come off my page because I was tired.
It was bombarded with that. I got fed up of that crap.
People even went on top of the roof.
To do what?
On top of the roof.
And this is not the first time we have seen that. About 5 years ago, they had the very same thing.
Yeah.
And it's not an unnatural thing or something that is fantastic.
No.
I see somebody post up, the end time is near. Well, if the end time is near, that have been so since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of this earth, that has been happening. So the end time was then. How much billion years this earth is? People don't think, they're not logical. But getting back to the point, what this gentleman is saying, what this person is saying, how people don't have time for one another thing. It's because they don't have the skills. They just don't have the skills.
You have to make it though.
I tell you.
Anyway, folks, taking the time, 29 minutes before 9 o'clock on this Thursday evening with Sexplosion, Dr. Raj of Total Imaging, the Adult Therapy Center. Just to remind you once again that our lines are open if you would love to interact with him via the telephone 222-8255, also at 612-8255. You're listening to a program that deals with love, relationships, and sex. Nobody does better what we do best.
A woman, for she to have sex, somebody just posted this, well, just send me this. Good night, Dr. Raj, great program. My take on this is simple. A woman needs a reason to have sex and a man needs a location. We don't even need a location.
Anywhere, any place. A woman would try to select somewhere that, it's appropriate. But a man, he could have it in the corridor here.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. And that is the problem. We, as men, because of our programming, and it comes back to how our brain is programmed, what's in our DNA. We are the highest form of animal. We want to recreate ourselves. We want to have sex because it's a wonderful thing. We want to find the right person to do it with because of the attraction, but the right person could be any person. That's why a man could go and pay for sex. You know? And I keep telling people that when you hear, it's very rare you hear a woman pay for sex. Oh, yeah. Now they might pay in some other way, but they're going to no brothel and pick up a man and say, I want to go and have sex with him. No, that's not going to happen. A man could go on the side of the road and see a girl with no teeth in her mouth, boom, she looking good, pay she for sex. He don't care. And that's the basic difference. It is how you control those things. But getting back to the relationship that we're talking about with you and your spouse or you and your partner and the long term or the longevity of your relationship, what do you do to invest in that and what you put into it? All those attractions and distractions are all around. The same way you have distraction with phone and the same way you have distraction with television and cable and whatever else, you have all those distractions. But you're putting those things aside and you're dealing with what is going to be attractive to you in your relationship, because that is the investment for the rest of your life. Oh, yeah. And don't tell me that that is your investment for the rest of your life because that was my vows. No. It is an investment for the rest of my life because that is what I want. Yeah. That is what I need. That is what we both want and need. And we are working towards that every single day. Not to find a reason to separate, or to find a reason to go our separate ways, or to break things up. That's not it. That is not it. We are there to make this work for the long haul, not because what the neighbors go say, or my cousin or somebody else. The long haul is what you're putting in the work in progress is what I spoke about at the beginning. The WIP, work in progress. Every day you put a little bit of the ingredients in. Love, compassion, compromise, contentment. You put in all these little things into it. You invest in. They tell you, if you want financial security, put a certain percentage of your salary aside as an investment. Yep. Good advice. Good advice. Great advice. Take 10% of your salary and put it aside. That is great advice. Are you taking 10% of your love, your caring, your contentment, your commitment, and putting it into that basket? Both of you, because it's a relationship.
What's it work two ways?
She might put 5% of this and you might put 3% of it. Another person might, the other time you put a 25% and she put 75%, whatever. But it's adding up. It's adding up. At the end of the day, you have a strong relationship built on that. Not built on finance alone. Because then it's financial control. It's based on a number, and that will bring the finance, because two people with the same head, as I tell him, my partner come and embrace me and he asked me that question, you know. He said the only thing, and this is a serious thing, he said the only thing that will keep two people together is if they have the same head and they're heading in the same direction, which is true. I can't be going left and you going right and expecting to work out. We must put our heads together and say, well, this is what we want to do. This is how we are going to make things work. Pleasant good evening to my nephew, Sachin. And we are putting all these, it's like a pot, you know. You know, what's the name of that Calypso Sparrow song about the witch doctor? You hear how much thing he used to put in the pot?
Coleman?
No, witch doctor.
Oh, witch doctor.
I am a witch doctor from our land so far.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Papawa. Right. So you're putting all these ingredients in there and it's cooking up. And it's not I put 50% and you have to put 50%. No, the compromise comes that sometimes I put 75% and you put 25%. Sometimes I put 2% and you put 98%. Doesn't matter. We love each other. Yes. We care for each other. We cherish one another. We want to make things work. So the 34 years you have invested in relationship, plus the years prior to that, correct? Because you didn't meet you today and get married to you today. Yes. Whatever those years are, 5 years, 10 years.
14 years.
Right. How much?
The 14 years.
The 14 years. Right? You add in that and you say, okay, I reach here, I want to double it. If good Lord will give me that, let me double it. So if I live to be whatever age, 34 years from now, I must be able to. And that's how you have to think, because that is the positive things that you have to put into it. You have to say, oh God, boy, I'm with this woman 34 years, I'm with this man 34 years. Oh God, boy. You think it's time for a break? Those are the, I hear people saying that, you know. When you start putting them thing in your relationship, what you're doing is adding negativity to your relationship, you know. You will never hear me say that. You will never hear me say something negative about my relationship like that. Never. Because I know when you start to sow that seed of discontentment, what will happen?
Downhill.
Downhill from there. I must strengthen it as I go along, and want your partner to strengthen it also.
Anyway, folks, taking our time, 20 minutes before 9 o'clock, Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj Rananan, of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Well, folks, think twice, at home, at work, and in your community. Think green and think clean. The 3 R's is simple: reduce, reuse, and recycle. To reduce, take small portions of food and go back 4 seconds. If you're still hungry, put the leftover food in a reusable storage containers to eat later. So before you use without thought, reduce, think twice for a cleaner, greener Trinidad and Tobago. Powered by Swimcall, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited, Power 102 and Boom 94, in association with Salu Enterprises, Price Club Supermarket, Bush Mountain TT, and the Gillett Group of Companies.
Tired of boring ice cream? Then it's time to step up to the real king of homemade. Introducing the bold and new look of Munchkin's homemade chocolate ice cream. Decadent, rich cocoa lavishly indulged in every bite. Now that's what you call ice cream. Munchkin's chocolate ice cream. Gotta have it today.
Before you act, think twice.
Think twice.
Think clean. Go green. For environmental awareness.
Power 102 FM
And Boom 94 FM continue to champion responsible actions for life, safety, and now a cleaner environment.
Our planet is what we make of it, so let's make the right choices.
The choice to reduce, to reuse, to recycle,
To conserve, to preserve,
to responsibly dispose, and to be more mindful of how we impact the world around us for this generation and those still to come.
Join us for daily tips on how you can get involved at home, at work, and in your communities.
Encourage your neighbors, colleagues, and family as well. Help change the culture and behaviors for a greener, more environmentally conscious TNT.
Think twice.
Think twice.
For environmental awareness.
Brought to you by Swimcall, the Trinidad and Tobago Solid Waste Management Company Limited.
Power 102 FM and Boom 94 in association with the Gillett Group of Companies.
Bush Mountain TT, Salu Enterprises, and the Price Club Supermarket. Think twice.
Think twice.
For a clean, greener Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago, we're ready, standing united and moving forward as one. We're one people, one nation, and all in this together.
We are all in this together.
Let's do this with Shema Wilson, Sundays from 12 noon to 2 p.m. on Power 102. Empowering you.
Well, I can tell you that you are making radio an experience by itself when you're listening to Sexplosion on Power 102.1 FM. For those of you who are listening to Sexplosion for the very first time, Sexplosion is featured here on Power 102 FM every Thursday and Friday evening. On Thursday, between 7 and 9 o'clock. Then Dr. Raj comes in on a Friday evening from 9 until 11. Your number one all-around station when it comes to talk and music. Power 102 FM, a station that's reliable, accurate, and effective. Yeah.
I see my northeastern brother, Curtis Watch, is listening. Good evening to you, my friend. He's in Toronto, I think. Well, somewhere in Canada. So I'm happy to have you on the program. So getting back to that. So all those little pieces that you put into the pot,
yeah,
eventually it melts and it becomes one. Everything becomes one. And that's what that does. That is the nutrients you need to strengthen your relationship. Everything you have to feed you. You have to feed your ego. You have to feed yourself. You have to feed, if you have a fear, you have to feed yourself to get over that fear. So you feed everything in your body, you feed everything in the... And when two individuals come together as one, isn't that that relationship a unit?
Yes.
So you have to feed that unit also. I see Chucky's on also. The duck is in the house. Carol from Tunapuna is also on. Prashant said subconsciously it will affect the relationship and lead to a negative outcome. That is there. Once you put something negative into a relationship, that's what you're going to reap.
It's what you put in is what you're going to get.
And next thing people do is bad talk their spouse.
Yeah.
But if you know, I hate to hear that.
But I'll tell you something, you will more or less get that coming out when they bad talking them because they want to get involved with somebody else or they see somebody.
No. That's not true.
Just bad talking for bad talking.
I have seen men get together and all they do is bash their wives in.
For no reason at all.
And you'll never find me a second time with those guys. It's always the negative things, and you'll hear the same thing, disparaging thing about their wives, and it's like, how could you say that the woman you're sleeping with, you sure?
Yeah, but I find that strange in the sense that how could you,
not because they're trying to track another woman, No. Another thing, you're trying to impress another woman, she asks you, you married? Yeah. Things good with you and your wife? Yeah. Because the woman expecting you to say bad things now, Now the woman can't ask the next question after that because she's stunned. She's stunned. Because you truth, everything okay. So why you tracking me? Me tracking you? I can have a conversation with you. You see that as tracking you? You want me to track you? You have to know to turn things around, Because when you start saying negative things in whatever form or fashion, it cannot be positive in any way. So all you do, negativity is going to breed more negativity, and you're going to end up with a spoiled batch. The spoiled batch being you, the spoiled batch being your partner. That's what you're going to end up with. Is that what you want? But I dislike to hear persons bad talking their spouse. It's something I really don't like.
I don't believe in that now.
But you hear it?
Well, folks, taking return 14 minutes before 9 o'clock inside Sexplosion on this Thursday evening with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Well, tell you what we are going to do is go back to the lines where we just lost that one. 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Dr. Raj.
Yes?
You said earlier that when a gentleman call and ask why some men tend to kill women. I can't remember the question.
Yeah, he said, well, he did ask that.
Now, I used to counsel victims of domestic violence. And you're very correct. You see the power and control and possessiveness. Men and women must realize that you don't own people, you don't possess people. You are not things. And the reason for men wanting to or killing women because of that.
You're correct. You're correct about that.
Yes. Right. So my second point is, I respect you for what you just said. So when men sitting down bad talking women, you're gone. There are a lot of men always bad talking women. Hear this. When I was a teenager, there was this young man who was with a girl. And he's a bad talk the girl. Years later, he ended up marrying that same girl. And hear what? All his friends know
That he's the bad talk she.
Spots the woman had on her body. People must be careful. Okay.
And well, look at that. No, what? Look at it. It's like you have a relationship with somebody, and you know they have this thing kiss and tell.
Yeah.
Why are you telling for? Don't you respect the relationship or for whatever it is? It might be a one night fling. Don't you respect that for the moment there? You don't have to go and tell Tom, Dick and Harry Lal about what the woman does do and how she does whine and what are you trying to put nuts on your belt again?
I can't say.
But people do that. They do it. They do it, and it's like, you know, I lashed that already, boy. I take you on a coconut tree. Why? What you doing there?
You come across things. Yeah, you come across things like that. Anyway, folks, taking our time, 10 minutes before 9 o'clock. Sexplosion on Power 102 FM. Well, just to remind you, it's the league we never knew we needed. The Sunshine Snacks Ballpark Community League every Monday from 6 p.m. at the NL Ballpark Stadium, which is located in Macoya. Come out and see teams like Beatniks FC, Pacemakers, MIC Tigers, Unveil FC, Love in the House, Vampers FC, Meteorita, FC and SNE. They were battling for greatness at the NL Ballpark Stadium. Macoya spectators are free. Remember, the Sunshine Snacks Ballpark Community League is on every Monday night at the NL Ballpark Macoya. See you there.
Want to get your products and services out to more customers? How about getting more people into your store? Does your brand need a boost in exposure? Then radio advertising on Power 102 is the solution you've been looking for. With packages tailored to your needs, to create the ideal radio ad, the choice is ours. Power 102.
That's because of that,
Powering you. So call us today at 6 to Power. That's 627-6937. And ask to speak to a client advisor about your
Do you to get boost on this?
What?
Power 102,
This is your...
empowering you and your
This is your...
business
When you
today.
see 10.
Freezing.
Well, I can tell you this is what it's all about. For those of you who are listening to Sexplosion for the very first time, Sexplosion is featured here on Power 102 FM every Thursday and Friday evening with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Right here on Power 102 FM, your number one all-around the station. Yeah.
So when you get colder, you don't feel sleepy?
No, I'll be
trembling.
I'll be trembling like I can't.
Oh, well, you better get somebody to come and hug you up.
Hey, good idea.
That's what you should do.
No,
Request that from management. Say, I need somebody. I need a hug.
I want somebody to hug up. Anyhow, we're going to go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Dr. Raj.
Yes.
I have a kind of 9.5 years, teenager, and I'm married to a girl like 26 years. And you know me, I have 6 children with your man, and she not believing me for a man who have a little 4-inch.
So you think a woman does love you for the size of your penis?
Since that my 9.5, I work in good afternoon.
Yeah, well, you feel a woman does love you for the size of your penis? If you equate love to the size of your penis, well, then you're in real trouble. That is not love?
No.
Yeah?
That is not love?
What is that?
That is just sex.
My genie woman, everything she wants, everything she wants, much change she wants.
No, well, you start off with your penis size, you know, sister. You start with that, you know. And you say you give the woman children,
Yeah, well,
and you feel like that go tie she down and make she remain with you? Brother man, you start off on the wrong foot twice. Try again.
thank you.
Try again. You start off on the wrong foot twice. That's the comment you go make?
No.
Based on your penis size, and she go with a mouth as small.
So you now see what...
But how do you know the man, how you know the size of the man's penis? You see too?
Yeah, no, she was Italian. But you see, this is where he put himself in a position where you're thinking on one channel.
You thinking on the physical aspect, but what about emotion? He didn't bring any emotion in. He said, give she children.
Yeah. So the other man with the smaller penis could have got that children.
But it's not that. Again, it is not those things. The physical attributes, the financial attributes are not the important thing. It's how you treat the woman. The way he talk about the woman there, if it's true, I have to use the word if it's true because he could be just making it up. You have no respect for the woman?
No.
So she have all rights to go where she going. She have all rights to do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there are other things that you have done wrong.
Yeah, but you wouldn't say the negative parts, huh?
But he think that when he say that he have a 9.5-inch penis, that would be enough to hold you one way. If he is a fish, he go and harpoon her. That's how he does. He does harpoon fish, the big whale that thing out there with a big harpoon.
But then on the other hand, maybe she might have found that the 9.5 is too much, so she went with the smaller,
It have nothing to do with the size of the penis. It have nothing to do with that. A woman men don't understand. I wonder how many men does study certain things that are sexual. A woman, the last, and I stand corrected, I could be corrected. The last record for the amount of men a woman have had sex with one after the other is over 1,000. It's over 1,000 men, one after the other. You think all the men, she started off with a 1 inch and worked her way up to 13 inches? She would have sex with a man maybe 2 inches, another man 6 inches, another man 3 inches, another man 12 inches, another man 4 inches. A woman can have sex with any size of penis.
Yeah.
What is your ability? The personality, it's your personality. When you make love, it's the thing that you bring out with the person, and the things that the person bring out with you. The fascination you have with one another, the playing of the 5 senses, and the same thing like the guy who say, if the woman closing she eyes because she thinking about something else, he wouldn't stop to think, well, she feeling so good, she close her eyes to concentrate on what's happening. So he already put himself in a negative position. He failed. You fail.
Miserably.
Yes.
Yeah, but then in a position like that, he could lose his erection too because he's thinking of...
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's my point. You fail.
Yeah. Because
you're thinking, oh, what's she thinking about? What's she thinking about Harry over the road by or the doubles man? Oh God, she always like to go and buy doubles,
Right there and then.
Sitaram, Dr. Raj, often people who bad talk others often have their own inadequacies. They ill talk others to highlight their own egos or for some other to feel sorry for them. That's true. Easy.
I thought so.
Easy. She always hit me these blows under my belt, These blows under my belt.
You won't believe the minute I saw the expression on your face.
You know what, sir?
I said to myself...
She likes to hit me these blows under my belt. And, yeah, Mortel Man, what's up?
Sexplosion at Power 2.1 FM with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj Randanan. Our Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Lines are open at 222-8255, also at 612-8255. Nobody does better what we do best when it comes to sex education. Taking sex education where it has never been before. Exclusively on your #1 all-around station. A station that's reliable, accurate, and effective. Yep.
So all these factors that we talk about, we started off the program talking about the length of time in your relationship, whether it be common law or marriage or whatever. How you value your relationship, what you're putting into the relationship, what you expect out of it, and the longevity of your relationship. And we discuss everything from point 1 to point Z, all the way down the line. So, all we have to do now is apply it to our lives. The couples out there, the husband and wives, the boyfriend and the girlfriend, the common law relationship, you have to apply that to your life now and make it work. So with that, folks, we have come to the end of our program until tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday.
Tomorrow is Freaky Friday.
Is this Freaky Friday?
Tomorrow is Freaky Friday.
Oh God, Junior, I wanted to run around here naked, because it's real cool in here. I don't know how you surviving in here.
Yeah.
You could have warned me, could have sent me a message and say, Raj,
but I can tell you, tomorrow walk with a sweater, or I know you travel to foreign countries where there is snow and winter and low temperatures, so you can walk with your winter coat.
I will, definitely. It's very cold. So you see why you are so important on giving proper advice. A lot of us men are lost when it comes to relationship. Thank God for you. Thank you very much. Person didn't give their name, but... So folks, remember, tomorrow's Explosion is on from 9. If you want, you can send me your questions and whatnot from now on 7401961. Or tomorrow you can always join us and say, Dr. Raj, I learned so and so. What about if I do so and so? But don't bad talk your spouse with anybody.
No. That's important.
Good night.
And don't feel the pressure if the eyes are closed. You've been listening to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM, your #1 all-around station. Don't forget, you can join Dr. Raj. He's going to come in and sit in here with me tomorrow from 9 p.m.